where we do individual segmentation using AI-assisted methods. So for this specific part of the protocol, we're going to use the SAM model, the segment anything model, that it's open access, freely available, was developed by Meta AI, and I have it here just to show you like where it comes from. So the SAM model, the segment anything model, is a model that can easily select objects within context. It's very useful for object detection techniques and to identify different pieces. So you can try it for free directly on this web page, or you can actually download a version of this model to apply to your own processes or adapt to your own code. So the way we decided to move on with segmenting different individuals from aerial images is to use QGIS, since QGIS is an open source spatial mapping software that allows us then to maintain the location information, the georeference information. So it's very good for our study case. So the first step of this protocol would be to download QGIS. Feel free to make a donation, but otherwise it's free. You can just skip it and go to download on this website that I will leave on the description of the video, and there you go, and you will have it. Another thing that we'll need to install is a plugin that was created a couple of years ago now for using the SAM model within QGIS. So these amazing people developed this GeoSAM plugin for QGIS. So very easily we can install it and use it within the QGIS environment. Is it also possible to use directly in Python code or ImageJ if you prefer? But for this project, we will focus on its usage within QGIS. So you'll need to follow the instructions on how to download this plugin and how to import it to QGIS. It's very well explained, so I'm not going to cover that. So now I'm going to open QGIS so we can see how this segmentation works and how to perform a good segmentation on our individuals. After installing the plugin, we might need to activate the plugin itself, and you might need also to download a version of the SAM model. In my case, I use the smallest version. I think it's the BitL version. It might look something like this. The model is quite heavy. It's a PTH file. In this case, you can see the size here. So here is QGIS. If you're not familiar with this software, I'm going to just go very quickly on the steps I'm following. So I would leave probably a link on the description on how to learn, how to manage, how to navigate this software. If you have used ArcGIS, it's quite similar, a bit more intuitive, I would say. And the best thing is that it's open access. See, there's plenty of tutorials online that you can ask for some help in that. And when you open QGIS, you have this recent projects, different news, and I would suggest you can start with a new template and open one of your images. I'm going to do so you can see how this works. So I'm going to open a new project by double-clicking the empty layout, and one easy way to go would be to just drag one images within here, or just add layer and select a raster layer. So we are adding a raster layer, which is the aerial image from Google Earth. And yeah, I'm just going to do it from here. You can also drag the image directly to this part that selects, highlights different layers. So I'm just going to find whatever it is. This might pop up something that I'm going to do in the background. Okay, so here's my folder with all the historical images. And to do this exercise that it's focusing on segmentation, I'm going to use a georeference image I already have. I'm going to do this one. Yeah, so I'm going to just select the image, open it. You can see is a TIF file. It will work as well with the GPG file. And I'm just going to add it. And it will be automatically placed considering the GPS position. So an important thing here is that I loaded an image that has been already georeferenced. I'm going to cover how to georeference the pictures that we download from Google Earth on the next tutorial, just to focus in here on the segmentation, because actually you could do segmentation directly with a non-georeferenced image. And what we want to do here is do the segmentation of these different individuals that this. We have a lot of individuals here. This. So when I'm just going to close this. When we want to segment, there's going to be two steps. Actually, I can show you this by sharing. So when we take a look on this GeoSam plugin, it actually explains very good how it works. And it's a two-step process. First, we need to encode image. So it's a bit time consuming. It's very good that they know that. It's a bit time consuming depending on the resolution and how big the area that you want to segment is. You will encode a piece of your image and then do the interactive segmentation. If your image has very low resolution, you might be able to select the whole image and then do segmentation everywhere. If you have a high resolution image, you might prefer go like patch by patch and focusing on the areas that you want to segment. So getting back to it, when we want to segment, I'm going to go directly try to segment one of a clear individual. For example, I would say this one is pretty clear. I'm going to start with this one. And then I'm going to do a bit more difficult one. So since we have already enabled the GeoSam plugin, that it's in here, we have these two different options, the segmentation tool and the encoding tool. As I was saying, there's this two-step process. These icons can be also found here, but just if you don't find it, you can just get back to them here. So I'm going to do first the encoding, which is this icon here. I'm going to click this icon. Sorry, I'm going to move this so you can see it. And in this panel, there's a bit of an explanation how this works. You might want to read it. Here, you will select the layer you want to perform the encoding on. If you want, you can select bands. This is very important, the processing extent, because the bigger area you select, the longer it's going to take. And the default is the entire image. I do not recommend that. There are different options. You can get it from what you are actually seeing. I usually use this draw and map canvas because it's easier to select the individual and I can see the information around it. So I'm going to click on draw map and canvas. So I go onto the map, I can zoom in and out, and I would select an area very close to the individual I want to select. So you can see that I have drawn this bounding box around. The coordinates of this bounding box are saved. The image, this is not very important. If it's too big, it will create some tiles, but this is again in our case. This is the point that we have to let the software know where the SAM model is. So in my case, it was in downloads in this folder. So I'm going to select this PTH file, open it, and load it here. I have to explicitly say which one I'm using. I'm using the BitL one, but feel free to try for the other ones. Feel free to change anything here if you have different, depending on the capacity of your computer. I usually don't need to touch anything here, and usually I leave it to save the output to a temporal layer, and later on we will save it as a permanent file. So I'm just going to hit run. This might take a while depending on the resolution and how big your selected area is. I'm suspecting this will be quite fast because the area selected is very small, but it will be around a minute. So there it is. We have the result now. It takes a bit longer than I expected. Oh no, actually a minute. And we are ready for doing the actual segmentation. So our image has been encoded. This window can be left open because later on we're going to do the encoding on another part of the image. So I just leave it there and we'll change the parameters so we can go a bit easier. You will see now that this part is new. I'm actually going to save it on my other screen so it doesn't bother us right now. Here it is. You might notice that we now have this area here. I'm going to close this results viewer. which is from the plugin, from the GeoSam tool. And we have different tools for selecting areas, and we have the model downloaded here and all of this. Well, and actually we also have like this other layer that it's part of the plugin. It's an example layer that you can, if you want, you can zoom to that layer and check like, what is this? But since it's not really relevant for us, I'm just gonna like not select it, or directly I'm gonna remove it. And get back to our layer in GIS. So this red bounding box marks the area where we can segment, and we might be able now to segment things. So there are different options. You have these points that you can add. If I remember correctly, this is foreground points, so outside the object of interest, and this is background points. Sorry, that was inside the object of interest, and this one is outside the area of interest, and it allows you to fine-tune when a selection is done. I usually, for this type of plans, I usually prefer to use a bounding box because it works amazingly and it's just way more faster. So what I would do in this case is just draw a bounding box around, more or less around the object of interest, and you will see that magic happens. It selects the individual. So you can accept this as a segmentation, or you can fine-tune it. In this case, I would definitely fine-tune it because I know for sure that that's not going to be part of the individual, and I don't know why it selected random pixels outside. I could do it again, like select a smaller area until I'm happy with the result, like this is a bit more better. I could just fine-tune it a little bit. So now I'm missing a bit. Sometimes you might want to be a bit fast, like farther away to properly select. This is quite good. And you can actually use background points to say, no, this is not what I want. This is not what I want. This is not what I want. The rest of it is the individual. You can see that it changes interactively. So at this point, you have to be very consistent on how you decide to segment your individual, because for some cases it may be a bit more trickier. So I'm not happy with this. I'm going to click C, which is for clear here. I'm going to do clear, and I'm going to do it again. I'm going to select something that I'm happy with. I'm quite happy with this one. Maybe not that. I'm quite happy with this. Yes. So when you're happy with your result, you might want to do save or just click S. And what this will do is to save this polygon into this new layer that has appeared here, that it's called polygon SAM. If you unclick this layer, you will see that the screen area disappears. We will deal with these little ones later on. Actually, now that I'm here, I can show you how, like, for little objects, it works amazing. And it's way more precise than drawing a polygon by hand. What happens if we want to segment this, which is a bit outside of the area we have encoded? You will see that it will not allow you to select something that is outside. It's not possible, and if you actually select something completely outside, it will bring this warning message. So I'm just going to do unlock, and for this one I'm just going to clear. So that's it for segmenting one individual. I'm just going to quickly encode a bigger area so you can play a bit more with segmentation and how it works. Actually, encoding a bigger area might give the model a bit more contextual information of what might be of interest and what might be not. So sometimes a compromise is there. It's quite tricky. To encode another area, I will go back to this menu or just click on the encoding icon. And I would just change this parameter here, which is the extent. I'm just going to go again, draw and map canvas. And this time, I think I want to show you how it works, for example, for this area. Yep. So I'm going to do run, and let's see how long it takes now. So here we go. It's finished, it's completed, and we can check how long it takes. It actually takes, very low. That's amazing. It's very quick. So I might want to close this. Well, I just will save it in case I want to. I just move it to the other screen in case I want to encode a bit more of image. So I'm getting back to this bounding box tool, and for example, I'm just going to segment this thing. Amazing segmentation. I'm very happy. I'm just going to press S at this point, and it saves this. So I'm just going to do this one as well, this one as well. Very happy with the result. Oh, this one might need to add a bit more here. I'm going to just save it for now. This one, That's one. I'm not quite happy with this one. I'm just gonna, yes, I'm happy with that. A couple more here. So as you can see, even the resolution is not that good. It works pretty good on it. So we might have them all here. That's it. And everything is on this layer again. If you want to segment other things, you can actually do that. For big, see, this is amazing. It works super good when things are very like different from the rest of it. This is amazing. It works super good. If you have like very big elements, I'm gonna try to see if that happens here. Well, sometimes like since it divides the area by tiles, sometimes you might need to like segment with multiple polygons on one object, like doing first a piece, then another piece that overlaps a little bit, and at the end merge all the images. But this is not the case for considering the size of these species, but just so you know. So you might be wondering, how do I know that this is my species of interest? Because it might look quite similar to other patches of vegetation, and I was quite sure that there was my individuals of interest. So to do this, this is because I am very well aware of how they look from space, but you might not be. And this is why we did step 1 in the past, which is acquire GPS position of the real individuals that are found in the field. And you can do that only by GPS, like saving the GPS, saving waypoints, or you can actually do that as well using a small drone where you can acquire high quality images where you can actually see in more detail the species from the air. So I'm just going to show you how it looks like in a second. I'm going to open that project and you're going to see how I actually did it the first time to segment, to find where the individuals were. Actually, before proceeding to showing you that, I'm gonna just show you how to save that layer, which is note that this is a temporary layer. This will not be saved if you close the project. So you will need to do export, save features as, and you will need to save it as a shapefile. You will add a name and just do okay. Check that everything, all the options are correct for you. The projection is okay and everything. And that will be to save your shapefile. So I'm gonna get back to open this other project where I will show you how I'm gonna lose the layer of the segmented elements. I'm not saving this project. And I'm gonna share with you how the drone image looks like on this area of interest. I'm gonna close this segmenting, like the GeoSam tool in this case, because we're not going to use it anymore. This is all this to the area, and we're actually seeing, let me check. So we are actually seeing the segmented polygons and the study area. I have this layer that has the centroids of different individuals, and we're actually seeing the image from 10 years ago, more than 10 years ago in the background. And the segmented individuals correspond to the 22nd, if I'm not mistaken, corresponds to this image. Yeah, so you can see the segmentation is perfect on these ones. So what I want to share here is I'm gonna get the segmentation out. Yes, there it is. And the centroids out. And I'm gonna share with you, let me just check. This is the layer I collected last year with a drone, with a very small drone, DJI Mini 4 Pro. I'm gonna get rid of this layer so we can see more clearly. I did it for a small area just to check where the actual individuals are to complement the GPS data. And I'm gonna zoom in so you see the resolution is very high. So it's very easy for me to confirm that this is my species of interest, this Ubuntu that we're tracking in this project. And we actually can see individuals that are very small. Even here, there is a very small one that I had GPS location as well. So from this very high resolution image, what I did is just to draw centroids based on also the GPS location. And I had these centroids on all of them. So that makes me much more easier to look for them on the Google Earth imagery that has way more extension than this one. So if I shift to the 2022 image and I get rid of this one, you will see the individuals were actually there. So Most of them were actually there, as you can see. These were not, and then will not be considered for the study because we cannot track it back. And also we might be missing some of the smallest individuals, but it will just start the retrospective analysis from this year. So you can see it's very easy now to just go and segment these areas as we have done with this tool. I actually added a few more here that you can see all of them were actually opuntias. So that's it. That's everything you need to know for this step. So we checked how to perform this AI-assisted segmentation on QGIS using all open source tools. On the next video, I will explore how to do the accurate georeferencing and then do the retrospective email individuals matching. And that's all for this. See you in the next video.